a separate group of people. This country was united, not separated into different groups. If they want to go somewhere where they can speak two languages, they should go to Quebec in Canada. They do that, and they've been pretty unsuccessful as a province up there. We face a situation where if we don't get out there and do this now, if Obama has another 2 years, what will happen to our country will be something that none of us want to have happen. We live in the greatest country in the world. Today's the day to think about that. We lost so many people in New York, and we have people running around who are elected officials who say, well, let's have them build a mosque where those buildings were. That is absolutely incredible to me. What in the world are we thinking? We have the opportunity now to turn it around. Our system works that way. Whenever I think of the founders and what they accomplished in terms of giving us something that most people in the world never had a chance at, what they accomplished was based upon their understanding that they were not above the people. They were not somehow condescending to people. Quite the contrary. Washington stayed with his troops in the field. People forget that. What we had there were a group of people who believed that all men are created equal and that their rights came from God and not the government. Some of them were wealthy, some of them weren't. Some of them had a great educational background, some of them did not. But they all had a vision of man, which has made us unique in the world. I had the chance to go into a building in New York where Washington said goodbye to his officers. Excuse me. And as a result of that building and the importance of it, the Puerto Rican nationalists blew it up on one occasion. And it's sort of fascinating to think of the context between the original use of that building and then what it had come to symbolize. It was a lot like 9/11. They want to destroy our heritage at the highest levels in this country. But Washington, of course, went to those men, all of whom wanted him to become a sort of a dictator. They really wanted him to take over. They wanted him to take over the government. And there were good reasons to think, thank you so much. There were good reasons to think that that was a good thing for America. People had seen his courage, his integrity, his willingness to lead at tremendous cost to himself. But of course he knew better. Washington said to his officers that it was their duty to go back to their homes and to start building this country because that's what they fought for. The American Revolution. Does anybody remember the Russian Revolution? Another dictator. The German Revolution? Another dictator. The Cuban Revolution? All these revolutions have led to dictators with one exception. We live there. They did it. We have to do it again. As my friend in Southern Ohio said, it is our duty. Thank you.
We always hear some new information and learn more when Bill speaks. We always love to hear. By the way, he was our first guest speaker at our first breakfast. So we're glad he comes back here periodically. We've got a whole bunch of updates here. Let's see. Kasich campaign, I saw the representative here. Is he still here? No?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Scott, could you enter one of the microphones there? We brought our backup PA system because our new remotes haven't arrived yet.
Well, thank you very much. I spent yesterday down in Columbus with the Kasich and Portman people, and I've got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is the polling remains very strong in favor of John Kasich, like Representative Batchelder referred to. The bad news is, like Bill also said, they're sitting on a ton of money. They're sitting on a ton of money, a lot of it this AFSCME union money that they have fleeced their workers out of and deposited right into the campaign accounts of these Democrats. The only way we're going to be able to bring this thing home is for everybody to do their part. And I realize everybody's busy. I realize everybody has families, they have obligations. But even if you can only give a few hours a week, whether it be phone calls at the Victory Center, going door to door, phone calls now at the Liberty Center, at the MCFAN headquarters, anything you can do helps. And I have to agree with Bill, this, and Jim, this is one of the most important elections, probably the most important election I've ever been involved with. And I hope you'll feel that same way and get out and participate and give what time you have. Thank you.
Sharon, keep in mind, voting starts September 28th.
Yes, early voting starts September 28th. That's, that's almost tomorrow. We have to get our message out. We have to execute the plan before then. About 30% of the registered voters are voting absentee now. So that's a ton of voters. If we lose the absentee vote, we lose the election.
Yeah, we need to keep track of people that are voting, getting absentee ballots, and making sure that they get a phone call from us. So if they have any questions about how to vote, we can help them with that. Anyone here from the Ganley campaign today? No. Could you hand Jeannie the mic?
No, I have just a comment.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear from Ganley.
All right. Okay. Renacci campaign. There he is. Could you get him the mic there? He's stuck in a booth.
Hi, everybody.
Press the button on and hold it about an inch.
Don't mind me. Sorry about that. I don't know if I've had a chance to meet all of you yet. My name's Kyle Lamb. I'm from the Renacci for Congress campaign. Sorry, normally I'm just loud enough for a room. But anyway, on Monday, we're actually going to be having a town hall event. It's going to be right over at the Medina High School. So pretty much anyone that wants to come by, it'd be a really great chance to get a chance to hear Jim speak. Also, I know a lot of you here were Matt Miller supporters. That's fantastic. But Jim would absolutely love to earn your vote. I realize for some of you he hasn't yet. Not to say that John Bocherry's earned it, quite honestly. I think there's a lot of people that are still in the middle. But Jim would absolutely love to have you guys come there and ask him tough questions. Because he's got some good answers for you guys. Quite honestly as well, John Bocherry got a chance to stop by our last town hall out in Stark County. We're hoping he's going to get a chance to stop by again, and we would love you guys to ask him some more tough questions. Sorry, it actually starts at 7 p.m. at the Medina High School. 7 p.m. on Monday. It's actually the behind lot. I think it's lot D. If you drive around to the back of the school, that's where we'll all be parking. No, it will be inside. It should just be in the auditorium there, I believe. Okay. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to either call or email. I think I should have a pretty good amount of you on our email list. But if I don't, feel free to go to the website or talk to me afterwards, and I can get you guys some more information.
Thank you. An impromptu debate broke out in Stark County, as I understand it.
Yeah, it did. It was a really good chance to get to hear the 10 to 15 plans that John Bocherry had come out.
Right. I'm sure he did.
No.
So it could be very interesting Monday night. There's some really negative ads coming out right now from Bocherry's camp. And he's following the Democrat strategy this year. You don't have anything positive to say about what you've done, so you smear the other guy. And, all those charges that are coming out now, well, we heard them during the primary, looked them up, found no substance. But that doesn't matter. It's all politics. Okay. We've got a number of different activities going on. Many of you have been to the new headquarters. Several have not. We've attracted national attention and been given support from American Majority. They have just equipped our office with a phone bank, and As a result, we're going to have another grand opening this coming Tuesday, inviting everyone to come out and take a look at our expanded and more powerful than ever facility. You'll be amazed. Even our own volunteers that come on a weekly basis are just astounded with the progress that we make every time they come out there. So be sure to put it on your calendar this coming Tuesday. Especially, we're going to be open all day, but the festivities are going to be serious about 7 o'clock on. We're going to be providing free food and beverages. Another thing, and I'm going to not step on Marcia's announcement, but Marcia wants to come up and talk to you about this a little bit. There's more than just phones, right? With a phone bank, we're tied in with something called Green Dragon, which is voter files and etc. And this is going to be something that can really seriously help us get out the vote and get out the right vote. So having said that, Marcia, you want to come up and talk to us about it?
We're going to start on Tuesday, and we're going to start training people on how to use the phones, and we need everybody who can give us any time, from 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, and we're open till 8 on Thursday. If you can give us a half hour, that's great. Anything that you can give us, we need people. We also need people at the headquarters, if you have time, to just come in and answer the phones. Because the phones ring all day, and somebody has to say, "Good morning, Medina County Friends and Neighbors," and filing, stamping, anything that you can do, we'd appreciate it. I know some people aren't comfortable with phones. We'll find something that you don't have to do that's not on the phones. I have a whole bunch of stuff here, sorry. The other thing I have is the VA hospital. I just emptied my trunk out. It's empty, so if anybody wants to start bringing in magazines and coffee and cookies again, that's fine, okay? Also, the Abigail Adams Project, which is a voter guide that I'm in charge of in Medina County with Wendy Sargent, is going full speed ahead, and we're going to need volunteers on Election Day. So if anybody can give us any time on Election Day, November 2nd, it would be appreciated. And then next Saturday, we're doing a precinct walk, we'll start from our house. And what it is, it's to help the guys at the Medina County School on Windfall Road, which is for the disabled from birth to death. And their levy didn't pass last time. The levy is 84 cents per $100,000 evaluation of your home, which means that if you have a $300,000 home, it's going to cost you less than $3 a month. They desperately need this to pass, so we volunteered to help them. So anybody who wants to come out and walk the precinct from 2 to 4 next Saturday, and then there'll be homemade lasagna and salad afterwards. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. It was kind of interesting, but MRDD, I think, are their initials. Yeah, they stopped by our office and we spent about an hour with them talking about how we could do grassroots campaigning to help them get that passed this time. This isn't your typical tax levy, which we consistently oppose. This is actually a replacement, as I understand it. Right, of their traditional means of funding, and they've done very well with the money. I should also mention that Marcia is one of our trainers, professionally trained trainers on grassroots organizing. And so one of her tasks for up until next Tuesday is to learn how to use Green Dragon and how to teach people to get on the phone bank and use the new tools effectively. So we'll be trying to provide that training all day long for whoever shows up, either Marcia or someone else, so that people don't walk into it cold and say, "What do I do?" We'll have some of that, but it's always so much more comfortable when you know how to use something when you start. So we'll try to make that happen. Last but not least, well, before I get to that, I want to make sure that everybody does get signed up. We've got a lot more room here, and it's one of the reasons why we came here, so we would have additional room for people. So I'd like to encourage people to talk to their friends, talk to their neighbors, invite them to come here. Especially for undecided people, they're not quite sure if they want to get involved, they're a little nervous about this, etc. This is the welcome wagon, or the welcome center right here. This is where people can get started being active in politics. So if you got somebody on the fence, this is the right place to bring them. Let's try to fill up this room. I want to make sure that I say this before the close down, but be sure to tip the waitresses. They're good to us. And appreciate Bob Sutton opening up his restaurant, which is not normally open at this time, so that we could, one, have a meeting place, and for those who want to eat, can eat. I'm seeing hands flying up. Scott, could you hand from the microphone to a couple of people?
I just want to remind you of the birthday.
Wow, of course, last but not least.
All right. I just,
Push the button up.
I just want to say I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an American. And this week, I've read the newspapers up in Cleveland with the corruption that's gone on. It has sickened me. And listening to the President of the United States in his speech in Cleveland, I was sickened. Now, he is wanting to make Iraq a democratic nation. Oh, well, we'll watch him. Somebody, somewhere has got to stop this. When you go to your Senate, wherever, take off the armbands. You are an American. We have to stop the infighting, the partisan politics. Somebody somewhere, I picked up a little thing on TV. No bill has ever worked unless it was a nonpartisan bill. Somebody has to take hold and say enough is enough. Whether it be a Democrat, Republican. There are independents out there. I'm an independent. American first and foremost. I would love to see somebody start the ball. Today on 9/11, we have got to do something. It will not work as a Democrat and as a Republican. It has to be an American. Somebody, John Boehner, I listened to him this week. I listened to the President. Somewhere, somebody, please start the ball.
Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate Bill on that speech. Your message should be taken into every high school because there are so many young people and young parents who just don't seem to give a damn. When they go to the polls, they don't know who to vote for. And the young kids today are not being educated. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Good morning. Good morning. I just would like to indicate that we have a new Republican Victory headquarters in Medina. It's a wonderful facility, a phone bank. It's up and running. We have our director, I believe Kathy is here. Maybe she's left already, but they need volunteers also to do the same work you folks are doing, phoning, meeting people. And between this group and the Republican Center, Conservative Center, I should say, we will be successful when victory in November.
Absolutely. We're now less than 60 days before the election. It's time to pull out all the stops. Every ounce of energy you got. One of my, from Adam back there.
Just real quick, I've got yard signs in my truck. You'll be able to figure out which truck is mine. It's a big white truck with a big white Frederick sign. And because I'm a fiscal conservative, you'll notice that they were used in the primary, so they're not new, but they still meet the need. So anybody wants a yard sign, please grab one up back of the truck.
Thanks, Adam. We have a number of yard signs leaning up against the van right outside. Feel free to take one. Just make sure they get used. We have our MCFAN signs here too. We have been charging $5 a piece because they're kind of a fundraiser thing. We want them to get used. We want them all out by election day. So if you got $4, that's good enough. $3, that's good enough. My understanding is the yard signs are available for distribution at this time. Okay.
Okay, hi. Yeah, you can start putting your yard signs out because voting does start in less than 30 days because of early voting. So if you have a yard sign, please stick it out and get the word out there. A yard sign is a great way to remind people as they're just driving from place to place about our great candidates. And the more yard signs, the more reminders they'll have. Oh yeah, put them in the yards, please.
Okay,
Not in the road.
thank you. And, all right, Mary, but we gotta close down here. We got one more really important announcement. All right.
About a week ago, I had a young man come and knock on my door, young student, and he said, "Where did you get your yard sign?" I said, "Well, I have some, but we'd like a $5 donation, or you can take it for nothing." He took it, and he said he'd be back with the $5. He didn't come back for about a week because his grandmother had an aneurysm. But he did come back, and he's really, really up on this. So talk to the young people. And he took the yard sign, and he was supposed to be here this morning. I don't know if he's here or not, but his name is Mark, and Mark, if you're here, we're glad you're here.
Thank you, Marion. Okay, don't forget to tip your waitresses. By the way, we are printing paper not by the ring, but by the carton now for precinct lists. So if you can make a donation, that would be greatly appreciated. Our final announcement, if none others, it's Marion's birthday. Yay! Happy birthday, Marion!
And now everybody knows I'm 80 years old.
We didn't know that.
Okay, Lorraine County 912 went to the Lorraine County Fair, of course, and we had our first Wellington meeting, actually the second Wellington meeting. I did that a year and a half ago, but the first meeting in Wellington this year, we had 37 people. So that was pretty good right from the fair. And tomorrow at Dave Haynes' house, Red Barn Balloon Affair on the edge of Wellington, we're having a last cookout of the year, I guess, probably will be the last one. Anyone's invited to come, talk to me, and we'll give you the directions. 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm ready for some cake and to wish Marion a happy birthday, so if there's no other, right. Oh, yeah, so let's sing it. All right, everybody ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marion. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Thank you, we are adjourned.